All right, in this lecture, we're going to look at phase changes and latent heat. And basically what that means is we know that when you're heating a substance up, I always think of water because it's the most common example. It's the easiest example that we can think of. When you're heating a substance up, there's that period where you're heating it up, but the phase change is occurring and there's no change in temperature. So think about it this way. If you took an ice cube out of the freezer, does it go poof and turn into a liquid? No, it doesn't. If you put it on the counter, there's a period of time where you have water and ice at the same time. Okay? If you continued to heat up that water on the stove and it reaches the boiling point, it doesn't go poof and turn into a gas. It would be really cool if it did, but that simply doesn't happen. So that's called latent heat. If you were to look up latent in the dictionary, it means sort of slow or falling behind. So there's this period of time where we're adding energy, but the rate of change of temperature basically halts. So you can see that in this graph, in this chart. We're starting down here at a lower temperature, so we have a solid. As you add energy to the solid, the temperature goes up until it hits the melting point. So right here in the red is your melting point, okay? And you're adding energy this whole time, but the temperature isn't going up. What you're doing at that point is causing the state to change. You're putting energy in to make those molecules break apart and turn into a liquid. Once that last crystal of solid breaks apart and the entire sample is liquid, then the temperature can start to rise again. That's what's happening right there. Until you get to the boiling point when all of a sudden the temperature stops rising again. Now we have a period of time where you're adding energy, and it's boiling. It's changing it into a gas, but it isn't actually all a gas yet. Until that point is reached, you can't raise the temperature again. Okay, and I showed you the superheated steam demonstration earlier in the year, and you can actually raise the temperature of water well above 100 degrees Celsius, so hot that it will actually burn through paper. Okay, if you remember that demonstration. So that's what latent heat is. It's this period of time where you're adding heat energy, but nothing is happening to the temperature. But what we're doing with that energy, rather, is causing the phase change to occur. So, of course, there is math that goes along with this. You have to calculate the energy for phase changes separately from the energy during the temperature change. We've already practiced the temperature change one. When you have no phase change taking place, it's not changing state, then you have the temperature changing. And so you use the formula, the heat equation, because that has a delta T in it, a change in the temperature. Don't forget, the specific heat for water is 1 calorie over grams times degrees Celsius. You don't have to memorize this, but there are other specific heats for water when they're in different states. Ice, you can see, is half a calorie per gram times degrees Celsius, and steam is 0.44 calories over grams times degrees Celsius. When you're melting a substance, the temperature isn't changing, but we have to put energy in. When we're dealing with water, it takes 80 calories for every gram to turn that ice, basically, into liquid water. When you're boiling the water, it takes 540 calories for every gram of water that you have to turn it into a gas. So how do we use this? Let's take a look. I want you to get out your periodic table and look at the back of it, because on the back of the periodic table, you have all of those formulas that I just told you about in the top right hand corner, and you also have the latent heat for fusion of water and the latent heat of vaporization for water on there too. What you don't have is the specific heat for ice or the specific heat for steam, so you can write those on the back of your periodic table if you want. So let's look at our example. How much energy is required to change 1 gram of ice at 10 degrees Celsius to steam at 110 degrees Celsius? So like stoichiometry, these are a long problem. They're a lot of work, but it's not hard work. It's just repetitive, and so you have to be patient. So what I like to do, as always, is make a list of what is going on. Okay, so with water, if we start at negative 10 degrees Celsius, the next time that it changes state is at 0 degrees Celsius. So from negative 10 to 0, we have no phase change happening. So we're going to use the formula Q equals mass times the change in heat right here. times the change in temperature times specific heat. Okay. At 0 degrees, we have a phase change happening. So that's melting. So something's going to happen there. There we're going to use the latent heat of fusion for water, this formula down here. Q equals mass times the latent heat of fusion. Then from 0 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius, we have no phase change again. So we're going to use the no phase change formula. You can look at those on the back of your periodic table, of course. Then at 100 degrees Celsius, something's going to happen. We're going to phase change again. This time we're going to boil or vaporize. So we're going to use the latent heat of fusion, or the latent heat of vaporization for water. And then from 100 degrees Celsius to 110 degrees Celsius, we have no phase change again. So we're going to use the no phase change formula again. So like I said, it's a lot of work, but you just got to take your time, go slow, and don't make any mistakes, and then you'll be good to go. So from -10 to 0 degrees. So that means we're going to use Q equals the mass. So we're dealing with 1 gram for all of these right there. So 1 gram times the change in temperature. That's a 10-degree change from -10 to 0 degrees, times the specific heat for ice, which if you remember I told you in the previous slide to write it down as 0.5 calories over grams times degrees Celsius. Okay, so 1 times 10 times 0.5 is 5 calories. Now we're melting. So for that, Q equals down here, down there, Q equals mass times the latent heat of fusion. So the mass is still 1 gram, and the latent heat of fusion for water is 80 calories per gram. So times 80 calories per gram. You can see that grams cancels. So we have 1 times 80. That's 80 calories to change that water right there. From 0 to 100, we're back to our heat equation again. 1 gram. It's changing by 100 degrees Celsius. The specific heat of water is 1 calorie over grams times degrees Celsius. So 1 times 100 times 1, that's 100 calories. We're almost done. Now we're boiling. So Q equals the mass times the latent heat of vaporization for water, which is 540 calories per gram. 1 times 540 is 540. And finally, to go from the 100 degrees to the 10 degrees Celsius, the mass times 10 degrees Celsius times the specific heat of steam now, because we're above 100 degrees Celsius, is 0.44 calories over grams times degrees Celsius. So 1 times 10 times 0.44 is 4.4 calories. So all you have to do is add up the total. 5 plus 80 plus 100 plus 540 plus 4.4 gives you 729.4 calories of energy. That's how much energy it's going to take to heat up 1 gram of ice to 110 degrees Celsius from -10 degrees Celsius.